Well, now that we are officially pulling the plug on the 277 project, doesn't mean I'm going to stop. Well, let me rephrase. Now that we're officially pulling the plug on the 6x47 project, wherein my goal was to make cases for a known system, that being the 6x47, which is, I've wrung out to the nth degree. And I figured, well, I'll try it with these cases and see if I can make something, because if I can ramp that pressure up and she hits 3600 and she tightens, well, that has not happened. We have, in fact, I missed the garbage can right through this, so I'll pull it back up. These were featured in a video recently where I came to grips with the fact that this case is not going to work for what I set out to do. I did the 6x47. I shot it enough to realize it's got problems in the 6x47 iteration. I have a known, several known 6.5s, Creedmoors, but at one point, as you get to my age, you realize that there's only so much time left, and you got to stop and reformat your battles. So that's what I'm doing. And I shot a few more times today. I tried some tested and proven loads, and it just is not. I mean, the case is built for the gun shoot just fine. The gun shoots just fine. The gun has all kinds of problems. But I figured quarter minute. I mean, I can make any old handmade, worn out turd shoot quarter minute. But it didn't. So as I'm putting the brakes on and I've cleaned everything up, I'm putting it away. I pulled the barrel. I'm going a completely different way with this project. As I said, stop. 6x47 experiment failed. But we're going to go another way. Read carefully here. I called the big makers today. I called Manson, I called JGS, I called PTG. I actually found a couple of 277 reamers, but nothing that I could use. We're going to take this thing and we're going to go the opposite of where I've gone the last 10 years. I'm still digesting this. But the last 10 years I spent making my case butts fatter and fatter and fatter, saving all kinds of problems. Now I have a case butt that in the thick part won't grow. Now, because all of my reamers and all of my stuff is fat butted, as that steel case rises away from its thick base, it gets obviously thinner, and that does swell at 100,000 psi. So I've decided I'm going to do something completely different. Back when I started this game, everybody believed that you could contain case heads with chambers and bolt faces, which is bullshit of the first order. I mean, that's asking for nothing but problems. I couldn't even call that BS. It's so bad, so far off, so untested, so untried, that I must have spent 10 grand testing that, only to find out that I had been right all along. The way to keep the case head out of the equation is make the chamber big enough to get it out of the way. Well, now I've got something different. I've got a case head that is solid steel, and that cup portion that creates all the problems doesn't grow. I've ran it up to 120,000 plus, I think I said that well, pounds. I've blown the top half open and tried to size it back in, half sized it back in. I'm still on my first cases. I haven't wrecked any cases. I haven't found the limits of this, but I found that when you start sizing that metal, number one, that metal cap with brass run down inside of it, I know from experience that when I size it, it's going to fatigue. I don't like fatiguing steel. My other cases don't fatigue. Yes, I blow them out wide so that that thick disc of copper at the bottom never grows big enough to hang things up. But I don't resize it. I don't play with it. I only resize, and that very minimally, the brass that I want to move and get it to fit back in the gun. So, this is what I mean when I say I'm taking this a whole different way. I'm going to go back to the drawing board. And because I have BRs and Buff 47s and Pippases and all the little stuff up to and including 308, the 6.5 Creedmoor, of course I had to explore that. I wanted to explore that before all the fanboys got all veiny about it, because it is a good case. Dave Kiff was one of the ones that said about designing it. He just didn't like the name. He wanted to give it another cooler name. Well, Creedmoor is the right name for it now, obviously. But it has spawned now PRC, all the POS guys and their PRCs. But here's the funny thing. Accuracy is still a problem. As I'm putting the brakes on this mess, I went on the inner tube and I checked on some. Well, two of the things I checked on were the SIG Cross. I think it's the Cross. Because people are telling me, ooh, you're going to put an eye out doing that. Ooh, big pressure. Make sure you use the SIG Cross. Well, I've watched SIG. SIG's never made anything accurate in their life. They are completely incapable of accuracy. So I looked into their platform, and sure enough, I said the same thing about carbon fiber, and it's finally coming around. It was funny because today I actually found 2 honest people on YouTube. One guy got up in front of God and everybody and said, hey, I've spent a lot of money. A lot of money. I've used everything out there, and I'm sorry, but I'm here to tell you, carbon fiber barrels don't shoot. Well, duh. They can't. But he took it to the next step. He has friends who are scientists, engineers. And through one of the engineers, he met a physicist. And across the boards, he talked to these people, and they looked at the material characteristics, and they said, I don't see any way this can be useful because the 2 materials have dissimilar expansion coefficients. Bam! There it is in a nutshell. So then we finally got a couple of people to come on and say also that they went out to rate or somehow assess the SIG Cross platform. Now, they're no more qualified to assess the SIG platform than I am. Probably less, to be honest. But they came to some conclusions. They said, unfortunately, it doesn't shoot. And then some of these people showed some guns that did shoot for comparison. And they whipped out their foams and they applied their little apps to give group sizes, but they made a huge mistake. They showed the groups, and the groups had air in them. They showed the groups. It doesn't matter how many times you measure and plug this thing into your phone app and get it to come up at 0.503 MOA. There ain't no 30 calibers out there with holes in the group, with air in the group, that are shooting half MOA. There ain't no 6.5s, ain't. So the point is, they shot their 3 shots and they shot their 5 shots. And they made their excuses, and it was this and it was that. But that's one thing. That's something I used to check on the internet. When I look and I see somebody that shoots rows of dots, with the bad dots looking like a turtle, probably because of a bad wind call, I perk up and watch. I listen. But all the words in the world don't mean a thing. So, the 277 SIG I'm not going to give up on. But I'm going to build this next one as a 277 SIG. Something I didn't have. This is how quickly my mind can change. I went into this project with all these ideas, only to find out when you take a steel cup and you blast it out 10 thousandths and then try to start working with that out of parallel in the interface between, you saw this in earlier videos, I showed you how the brass case goes down and locks in. It's a nice design, but you can't work that joint. It broke loose and the case head started spinning. My first rule of thumb was that for this case to be useful, I have to get, first of all, it's already a very high velocity, I misspeak, very high pressure case. I'm shooting a super high pressure case. I'm shooting an 80,000 PSI case, and the gun shoots like a dream. I've got many barrels, and I can be competitive in pretty much any bench rest style venue. Shoot, I could slap a pod on it and go out and, I don't know about weights and stuff, but I could do one of these POS matches or couldn't do cross the course because my gun's a little heavy to hold up. But F class, compete in F class just fine. Known paradigm, known thing. Figured, well, I'll take this new case. Well, I did. I took this new case. I found some things out about it that are leading me in a different direction, and I have talked myself into a 277 SIG. I mean, I have a $400 and some barrel blank here that is eminently well suited. Super good twist. 7, I think. Set up for the biggest bullets 277 has. The folks over at Burger, my favorite ballistician of all time, old Bry Boy, is making all kind of noises about the cool J4 jackets, and these are gun. So see, it's all vaporware at this point. Just like this gun was vaporware. It was all dreamscape until I tried it, and then I tried it, and it didn't work out. So it's disappointing to go on the news and to go on these forums, because in future episodes I'm going to talk about the subject of donuts. In my time on the forums today, searching the 277 SIG, the talk of pressure and donuts came up, and they're all, well, you know, hardnesses of cases will vary, and donuts form faster in soft brass, and I mean, bullshit. Donuts form faster with heavier bullets. Over time, the necks get funnel shaped. There's so much in the donut paradigm that people don't understand, but trust me, you don't bang on that piece of bread dough until it starts to spread, people. The accuracy thing is the same way. About the time these guys made the mistake of showing, they panned the camera across their groups when they were talking about their accuracy. And then they tried to convince us that they were half-minute groups and 5/8 minute groups and well under a minute groups. And these are the same people who will stand there and say, well, you know, the gun outshoots me. It actually has more accuracy than I'll ever see because I'm not that good of a shooter. And blah, and blah, and blah. It's embarrassing. I can't wait till more people on the internet actually find some of the Bench Central, for instance, an accurate shooter. There are some shooters on there that post real groups, little round groups that'll still hold a bullet. Al Nihus is doing his Dust My Broom project, and he threw up something that he shot out there, and it just defies logic how well a good gun shoots. But that's what we're going. That's the only way a gun can be competitive. This project, I'm coming to grips with the facts, is not going to be competitive. So I'm going to build it as a hunting rifle. Super lightweight, short action, lightweight. I mean, this will do all the things. A little bitty 270-08 size cartridge that'll perform with a big 270. So I'm still going to test the case out, run it up to pressure. But I just needed to sign off of this and say, I ordered a reamer. I found a couple in stock, and I came so close to buying one, but I just couldn't do it. I'd have the thing on the lathe trying to grind it. No, I wouldn't do any of that. But anyway, I'm going to have to order one, so the whole 277 Sig Fury thing is going to get put on the back burner. But being on the I don't spend that much time on the inner tube, but when I went up there during lunch today to look over this stuff, man, I about got fired up. And I can't wrap this up without talking a little bit about the politics of the day. And before you turn off, I'm going to call you rat bastards straight out and say, this is your problem. It's not Biden's problem. It's not somebody else's problem. It's yours and mine. We raised these kids. We dropped the ball, and we had better start picking it up, because ignoring the cancer does not make it get better. It does not make it go away. And ignoring the enemy, Sun Tzu said, know thy enemy and thereby know thyself, and in 100 battles you'll never be defeated. Now, I don't know that I go that far. I mean, you got people in pith helmets and bamboo and wooden swords whacking and hacking and poking sticks at each other. Yeah, you can go a long ways on fitness and battle attitude. I won't say in today's world you ain't going to lose battles, but dude, I got to tell you, we are losing this one. We are losing. Watching this Alec Baldwin thing, he recently got absolved, and of course I've talked about it, and of course most of you left because you don't like to think about politics. Well, suck it up, Buttercup. You better start talking and thinking about politics, or your kids, let alone grandkids, will not be shooting. I do this cool stuff because because I live here and I can do this and I can shoot out my window. And I hope to will this place on down the road to my kids and grandkids so that they can go out and ride and jump. I got the coolest jumping, screaming, ripping, tearing quad track out there with a 60-foot tabletop. I can shoot all... The other night I ran till 10:30, 11 o'clock at night. Tonight I might. I'm going to switch over to a 50 BMG project, and it's already 6 o'clock in the evening. But I don't fear the Reaper. I don't care about that thing which steals the light. I go bring my own light. So, you know, as I was saying, the point I'm trying to make is I have seen the enemy, and he is us. And people, if we want to keep doing this, you got to quit ignoring politics. I was on a forum searching stuff, and this Alec Baldwin thing popped up, so I started reading, and it just makes my heart bone hurt deep from the inside. It's embarrassing. We are so bloody stupid and unable to sort things out that it frightens me. You know, the religious types come on and they're like, well, manslaughter versus murder. You'll notice that there's no manslaughter in the good book. Yeah, so? And this isn't new. But this is bringing it to the fore. To further quantify my depression, back in, 30 years ago at least, Joe Perry wrote a song, Eat the Rich. And it's perfectly crystal clear. Basically saying, listen, you dumb liberal pieces of shit. Your answer is that when we've destroyed your world and destroyed your planet, destroyed everything around you and pissed all over in your own bed, and you're hungry, well, eat the rich. But if you go on the inner tube today and search the term eat the rich, you'll see a bunch of liberal BS about how, do it. I ask you, do it. You people. I watch the demographics on my videos, and it's depressing because I do anything political, nobody wants to watch it. It's NASCAR people despise those people that go watch NASCAR just to see the crashes. You're not a NASCAR fan if you're there to watch people turn left and hit the wall. I'm not claiming to be. But watching this Baldwin thing, oh, we should charge the gun with murder. Yeah, he's just like Hunter. Who did he pay off? How does he sleep with the widower and Hudson? No. When was a non-celebrity last let off? It's all about the celebrity. It's all about the money. And it goes... And then people to come on and try to be logical, and they say, well, I read that the gun had the trigger modified for fanning, and that could... Well, so what? He would have had to fan it then, you dumbass. He didn't. He pulled the trigger. But that's not Baldy's fault. Alex is an actor, for crying out loud. See these people, oh, Alex is an asshole. There's no justice anymore. Rich people, shame, shame, shame. He violated all 4 rules of guns. Well, no shit, people. He's never shot a gun in real life. From what I hear, the only reason there was ammo on the set is because these people are like, wow, this gun really shoots. Let's go bang some cans around. But they knew nothing about gun safety. I teach gun safety. That gun was a prop. They pay somebody to tell him you can point and shoot. And all you soulless, fun-sucking bastards that say, boycott Hollywood. I don't want to hear it. You've been watching these movies forever and ever. You don't draw any lines. I have a family. My uncles actually drew those lines. And when I grew up, there were a couple of my cousins' families that couldn't shoot squirt guns. If we ever got caught doing BB gun wars, we would watch our guns get broken over Dad's knee. Drawing the line between fun and gun is, and has always been, hard. People are all, oh man, where'd they lease the guns from anyway? Who is this? Who is it? Alex Baldwin this and Alex Baldwin nothing. He's a guy out there told to make money by shooting people in the face. What about it? You watch it. We all watch it. I'm not, when I say you, I'm calling you out. I'm calling us out. I'm calling our generation out. Get off of it, people. Regardless of what a liberal piece of crap Alec Baldwin is. One of the Baldwins did some fire movies that were good. Several of them, Wildland Fire and House Fire. They work. They do their thing. But in the meantime, we got to get our head straight.